Raffle tickets here. We've got, how many prizes we got, Jeff? 3 prizes. So we've got a Wrexham shirt with 150 signed by Kevin Wilkin on the back. We've got a yearbook, and we've got a double DVD of the Brighton games, home and away in the FA Cup. So I'll ask Kev to draw the first prize out. Looks like an orange or pink ticket. 406. 406. Okay, we got a winner. Barry, do you want the next one? White 617. Mr. Cook.
Cheers. There you go.
Oh, sorry. White 637.
Probably Neil again. Neil.
637. Let it go again. Right. And the white again, 790. 790. Jamie in the back there. Okay, before we go any further, we've got one more announcement to make. Just like to say, as a fan-owned club, Kevin, as manager of the club, has expressed a wish to become a co-owner. So he's actually going to sign the form for us. Excellent. Welcome to the club, Kevin. Okay, just before we go any further, I'll make the introductions. Far end of the table, Trust Board member and Football Club Board member Spencer Harris. Obviously Kevin we know now. Next to Kevin, I think everybody will know anyway, but former Wales and Wrexham player Barry Horn. And next to myself, Club CEO Don Burcham. Okay, so we'll make a start. This is your chance. You've got board members up here, Football Club board members, you've got the club CEO, and you've got the manager. Questions from the floor, please. Who wants to go first? You can put your hand up and please give your name when you do, before asking the question. Right at the back. Brian Jones.
After what you saw on Saturday, what's the first thing you're going to do?
The question was, I've got to repeat this to make sure that, in fact, just to let you know, just before the break we had over 250 listening into this, so excellent turnout. Kevin, the question is, after watching the match on Saturday, what's the first thing you're going to do?
No, it's not go back to Nuneaton, don't worry. Sorry. Yeah, it's not go back to Nuneaton, don't worry. You've got me for a wee while anyway, so. The first thing I'm going to do, I needed to get them in this morning and have a discussion about the levels that, you know, I told them after the game Saturday, the levels and kind of my expectations of where it needs to be and what I expect out of them really, and I need to keep forcing that home and making them understand that you know the levels that we need to play to be successful at home first and foremost, and you know getting that message to them and making the penny drop is paramount. We've had them in today, and you know several of them have worked quite hard physically, and I need to gain a measure of where they're at, and having a couple of sessions now on a game Saturday kind of tells me quite a lot. I've really enjoyed being with them and working with the lads. I've had most of them in and found out whether they want to play for us. That's paramount moving forward as well. Vital ingredient. If players don't want to be here, then I don't want them here. That's how it is. They need to be here to drive the club forward, and it needs to be right at the heart of what they are and what we are. So they're bits and pieces about what I've done. I know I've got work to do, and I've got to assess players and be fair to players. And over the sort of next few weeks, I'll hopefully give everybody an opportunity game-wise if I can. I appreciate, I want to win games. I like winning games. We all like winning games. But I want to take stock of the situation first and foremost, and like I say, get a measure of it, see where they're at, and work hard, getting to know people, and know that they're the right people to take us forward.
Okay, thank you. Another question? Yes.
Dan Thornston, because we've been lacking goals this season, will we be getting Bradley back on that long period?
Will we be getting Bradley Reid back from a long period?
It's a discussion that we've had. Probably Barry will possibly tell you better than I will. We're looking to try and do that. Yeah, is the answer to your question. If we can get him back, I'd like to get him in and have a look at where Bradley's at, and get him involved. And again, I need to make a measure of where Bradley's at and whether he's one of the guys that will take us forward.
Okay.
There you go. Barry's just said he's playing tonight.
Well, Wolves under 21s
The Wolves
tonight
under 21s.
at Bolton. Hopefully we'll speak in more.
Okay. Any more questions from the floor? Jenny?
We're playing Nuneaton in 2 weeks' time. How do you feel about that, and will you prepare for it any differently?
The question was, for those at the back, we're playing Nuneaton in 2 weeks' time. Will Kevin prepare for it any differently?
Mentally, no. Obviously, I know a whole lot more about them. I know their ins and outs. I will set us up to win the game. I know their strengths. I think I know where the weaknesses are. I had first-hand experience it up until middle of part of last week. So no, I won't prepare any differently. I think every game that you go into, you prepare in the same way. It doesn't matter whether you play top, middle, or bottom of the league. And taking that out of the equation, it's people can get themselves up for. We played Luton Town at home the other day, and Nuneaton played Newton Town at home the other day, and 3,000 people there, which is kind of a massive crowd for Nuneaton. But something I try to emphasise to players is that it doesn't matter whether it's in front of 3,000, 6,000, or 7,000 at Luton. Whether you're playing at Hyde in front of 500 people, the mentality and the way you approach the game should be exactly the same. And that's where players can lose sight of a little bit of things and allow occasions to overtake them. And you need that focus, regardless of who you're playing. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You should approach each and every game as though it's your last, and make sure you're right to go. And that's where that consistency factor comes in. That, like I say, it's paramount that you don't let the occasion spoil what you're about and how you win games. So I suppose in answer to your question, I won't prepare any other ways other than I know more about them than anybody else.
Don, you want to say something?
Just after the conversation I had with the Nuneaton chairman, we're really looking forward to welcome him to the ground. First thing I'm going to do is introduce him to Joey Jones.
Okay, gentleman had his hand up at the back there. Sorry, Peter Davis, yeah. The question was, is there a place in the football club for part-time players?
That's something I'm certainly keen to explore, I'll be honest with you. I know of several part-time players that, if we can accommodate them and they add something to what we are, then I don't think we should dismiss it. I think we need to be open to those options. If it fits within, whoever it may be, wants to do in their work life and they're good enough to play at this level, I'm not precious about having to be full-time or part-time. It doesn't matter to me. Clearly being full-time gives you a better opportunity, I feel, as we said earlier in the discussion. But I don't think you should dismiss that. If somebody's good enough and they want to play part-time and they may want to go and do a college course or whatever it might be, and we need to tailor ourselves around it, provided they're good enough to come in and take us forward, I wouldn't dismiss it.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, Don wants to say that.
Being your wingman here tonight, Ken. But I would just like to dispel some of the stuff I see in Red Passion that, we ain't ever going to become a part-time club. That's the end of the football club. So, if there's any keyboard warriors in here, can you heard that from the horse's mouth, so that never happened.
Okay, John Ed, would you put your hand up?
Yeah. Following on from what you just said about signing part-time, whatever, would you consider looking around the North Wales teams here? We've got quite a bit of talent around here.
Sorry, just for the ones at the back. The question was, players in North Wales, is Kevin going to be looking at some of the players around that area?
I would like to think so. Coming into the club has been quite hectic for me, and there's quite a lot happened in quite a short space of time. I'm just hoping it settles down a little bit from here moving forward. But I do, and part of within the interview, and the gentlemen sat around me are keen to get out there and create a scouting network, as I am. I think it's important at all levels to be tapping into the local talent there is there. I think we all love a local boy that does good. We've got a fantastic academy with Joey and Andy running that at the moment and working within that, and I'd like to see that enhanced and that developed. The training facilities at Colliers are fantastic. Really is exciting for me. Like I say, all the bits and pieces that this club has, and the fantastic. It's got some fantastic bits about it at the moment. The thing missing is that we're not playing in the Football League, and that's where we need to get to. And I need to use everything and every tool possible to get us there. And if it means looking at and scouting lads that are playing locally and younger, then so be it. And we need to tap into that, and we need to be aware of any talent that is coming through. I've had a fair degree of success of developing young local talent. It's taken me quite a long way, and it's something that sits well in my mind. And as you say, I'd like to, at all levels, to be fair, I think having that infrastructure and be first on the scene, whether players are being released at young players at pro clubs, there's lads making their way like I did, coming up through lesser clubs. It doesn't matter. What I think matters is that you're at the forefront of it, and you're able to, bring those people in to have a look at them and see if that you can develop them, and they have the raw talents to deal with to then progress. And as I say, it takes a bit of organising, a bit of structuring, but I would like to think over my period here that we will have some sort of scouting network and structured scouting network that's opening us up to every bit of talent that should be out there.
Okay, thanks, Gav. Any more questions from the floor? I've got one to my right here. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Shay Brandon.
Yes, Shay?
I just wondered what Kev said in his first team talk for the team.
What did you say in your first team talk about, to the team?
At the end of it, I generally speak twice when I name the side. A lot of the backbone of the work is done through the course of the week. I think if you've not done the work through the week and you rely just on turning up on a Saturday and you think it's all going to drop into place, then you're deluding yourself. So a lot of the work has been done, and I will have spoken to them obviously Friday, which was the first opportunity. But at the end of it, whilst you folks give me a very warm and fantastic reception, the most important thing to me was that team went out and got 3 points. And it's nice to be liked, and you did give me a fantastic reception, but more than anything, you guys deserved a 3 points, and to get a smile on your face. Got you, Ken. It was more important. It wasn't about me Saturday. It's always about the team and always about achieving. That's the most important thing, and they need to focus on that and not let any of the what was happening on the side of it spoil what ultimately we're there for, and that's to achieve 3 points and get ourselves up the league.
Okay, thank you. Yes?
Are there any players you're already looking at for the summer to bring in?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just repeat that for the camera, for the video. Are there any players you're already looking at for the summer?
Numerous, yeah, I would say. There's players that I don't think you ever, as a manager, you ever stop looking and ever trying to find the next gem. And I'd be no different. I know there's players there that, again, at different levels that I'm aware of that I would like to attract to the club and try to bring to the club. Some require, greater financial reward than others. Some are making the step up, but I think, like I say, I need to get them into the club and work within what we've got and get a measure of where they're at and whether they can progress us. But there are, I'd say countless targets there that I will be speaking to, and a lot of the time when we finish the season, from now until we finish the season and through the course of the early part. early part of the summer, I'll be looking at getting those things sorted out in conjunction with the gentleman, and like I say, getting people on board, and hopefully taking a break in between, sort of signing players and then picking up again for pre-season.
Yeah, well, question, Mervyn.
First thing, thanks for coming to the Reds. And do you plan to bring a fitness coach in? When we had a fitness coach, we used to win games in the last 10 minutes. We're losing in the last 10 minutes.
I worked. Sorry,
what was the question? Does Kevin propose to bring in a fitness coach? Because when we had one last, we used to win games in the last 10 minutes.
When I was at Nuneaton, I put an advert out for. We were lucky to be so closely associated with the university round and about, and I've spoken to Barry with it and about tapping into that, and that's an area I do see us tapping into. When I was at Nuneaton, I put an advert out for an offer for strength and conditioning coaches to come on board and gain some experience with us. And I took 2 guys in. I've interviewed 10. I took 2 guys in. One moved down to London, came on board and gained some value experience and moved down to London. And they were quite shy and retiring characters when they came on board to us. But the guy that's there now really come out and blossomed in himself and does a fantastic job for us. And I see, and I'd like to think, we can speak to the university and gain some guys to come across from there and gain some work time experience that won't be too expensive, and develop themselves and bring that knowledge and expertise. I'm not an expert in it. I work people hard and I demand that people work hard physically. You speak to the players today, they'll have done some running and some work today with the ball as well. It'll get them to what I think is probably a better level of fitness, and I know the levels that I need to work to, and I think it's inexcusable if as a full-time player that you're not fit out there to go and do your job.
Thanks, Kev. Yes, at the back. Can you just repeat that, please? During the future with Wrexham, what are your aims?
The initial aim would be to take us, first and foremost, back into the Football League. I talk too much, it's worn out. The initial aim would be obviously to get us back into the Football League, and I don't know, I'm not sure. You look at clubs down the south there and where they're at the moment, and I look at them and I don't think they're any bigger clubs than what Wrexham are, and the pair of them are in the Premiership now, and like I say, I think there is a lot of untapped potential if we can get the Wrexham Football Club moving forward, and the first port of call would be getting back into the Football League, and who knows where it can go from there if we can keep developing it and moving it forward and growing steadily on a sustainable basis. The sky's the limit for me as I see Wrexham, and that's one of the things that really attracts me to the club.
Yes.
There's a few lads at the moment out on loan. Is there any plans to get back so you can have a good look at yourself?
Lads on loan, we've got quite a lot of lads on loan at the moment, Jonathan Royal, Anthony Stevens, etc, Jay Colbeck. Is there any plans to have them back on from the loan spells before the end of the season for Kevin to have a look at?
Absolutely there is. Whether we get them back in and playing, I know those guys are working some at Colwyn Bay, and I spoke to several of them today and just wanted to find out where they were at, and they train tomorrow night with the clubs that they're with and what have you like, and I said, where do you feel you're at with it? Do you want to be would you like to be here and train with us, and have you got it in the locker to be able to train in the morning with us and work hard, and in the evening with the club that you're working with? And the two that I spoke to about it both said, I want to come here and train with you tomorrow, that's what I want to do. Fantastic. As a manager, that they've got the energy and the desire to come in and do a session with us, and it'll be quite hard, and then go and do a session in the evening with the loan club, and that's where I'm at as a player. I just think, get out there and play and work as hard as you possibly can, and it's great that they're showing that desire to want to come in and want to work and show me what they're all about, and the fact that they do, I'll give them a chance. That's what I will say. you know, I can't always guarantee that I'm going to give them a first team start, because I have to sort of balance the fact of I want to win games, and I have to give some of the senior guys there a chance and opportunity as well. And whether I'll be able to get through everybody between now and the closing of the season might not be the case, but certainly if they're willing to put some effort in on the training field, I'd love to look at them there and see whether we can move forward with them and they can take us forward.
Okay, thanks, Kev. Sorry. Yes, Pete, yeah.
We all know what the board think of you, because obviously they've given you the job. What's your thoughts about the board after going through the interview process?
Just for those at the back who didn't quite hear that. The board, obviously, the board know all about what Kevin's about, but what does Kevin think about the board after going through the interview process? Before Kevin answers, can I just say a huge thank you here, personally for me, to the three guys up here on the top table, Spencer Harris, Barry and Don, for the time they took to go through the whole process. I know a lot of people think it was they were dithering, but believe me, the work that went into it was absolutely fantastic, and not just these three guys as well. John Mills is here tonight, Gavin Jones is here tonight, Alan Watkin, and I've missed somebody out, and Mark Williams, of course. Mark's not here either due to work, but a huge thank you to all them, from me personally, that is, and because it's richly deserved. I'll let you answer the question now, Kevin.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never met three better blokes. What do you expect me to say?
I thought you said you were honest.
The limited time that I've met them, and like I say, I've been in front of them two times, and met them fleetingly. Don probably the most, and Barry and Spencer. Outside of that, and I can only say how professionally they've conducted the interview. The interview process, thoroughly professional. I was made to feel at ease, which probably helped me as a person to try and sell myself. I was made to feel at ease from minute one. I felt comfortable about it. I felt right about it. I'm lucky enough to be your manager now. And as I say, that the three guys are thoroughly professional, and I don't want to let them down, and I don't want to let you down. I want to come here and, as I say, give it the best shot, and they've given me the opportunity, which I thank them for. I know now I've got to go and win games, and that's what I'm measured on, is winning games and taking the club forward. So that's where I sit with it. It's important I get on and do my job and do it right for you.
Thanks, Kev. Okay. Any more questions? Dennis?
For the directors, please. In time, when Kevin's able to get the players' play stuff sorted out, will you be able to, and Kevin comes to you, will you be able to sit down and ask and talk, if there are any financial talks about new players, will you be able to help him in any way, please?
Sorry, will the board be able to sit down with Kevin and tell him about the finances?
At the end of the season.
Yeah, one of the wonderful things about doing interviews is you get to pick a good manager, but you never miss the opportunity to find out what other clubs pay and what the budget is. And Spencer managed to, I think, capture just about every piece of information we possibly could. And what I would say to you is we have an extremely competitive budget. It was reported in the non-league paper last year that we were 4th or 5th. Some of our fans doubted that, but that's the reality. And of course, this gentleman, because budget and success don't always equate. And as a prime example, sat beside me here, who had the lowest budget in the league and was in the playoff positions. So we have a very competitive budget, and I can assure you that we'll make funds available to the manager. But it's not only about a competitive budget, it's about getting value from that budget. And if I tell you that Kevin's highest paid player was paid half what our highest paid player is paid, it gives you an idea of the opportunities that exist. So a possible analogy would be that we have to stop shopping at Sainsbury's and maybe go to Aldi. And that doesn't mean that there's less quality at Aldi. It's just it's a quality product just packaged differently. So I think this gentleman will not only we will have a very, very competitive budget, but I think he'll get greater value from that budget, and that's very, very important to us.
Notice he didn't mention war chest, okay? Okay, any more questions? Sorry, Rob?
Yeah, just wondering if you're aware of the rivalry with Chester, and we've got them in a few games' time, and it'd be very, very nice if you could give us a bit of revenge for what happened earlier on in the season.
The question was, is Kevin aware of the rivalry with Chester?
I wasn't, believe it or not, before I started, but those three ladies there kind of pointed out what it was all about, and they've made the point in no uncertain terms, so I realise not to show my face again if I don't turn up. Yeah, I'm thoroughly aware of it, and like I say, it's a big local rivalry. Puts an extra edge on you, doesn't it? Of course it does. You want the bragging rights, and we've been involved in, when I was at Nuneaton, in several of those, and I realised that the bragging rights that it carries, sort of thing. So like I say, yeah, Chester are where they are, we are where we are, and it'll make for a competitive game, I'm sure. But I like to think we'll have enough to come through and beat them.
Okay, question.
Talk about attitude of players. Obviously, in the time you've seen so far, have any of the players' attitude maybe surprised you in terms of how they've adapted, what they believe? And it's all going to be a lot offside yet.
The question was, has any of the players' attitude surprised Kevin, and does Rob Ogilvie know what offside was?
We had a referee in to teach him this morning. We'll work on that one. We have had a look at it back on the video, and like I say, we need to address that and make sure that improves somewhat. I don't know what it's been like the previous part of the season, but the attitude that they've shown me and the application in the 2 sessions that I've been with them, and I'm a big one. I like to get to know the players and where they're at, and I want to do as much homework as I possibly can. I made a point of meeting every player when I was at Nuneaton. I wanted to get to know them, what made them tick, and I turned a few away there because just they weren't right for me. Their attitude and people, and you've got to understand what's the most important thing to people, and I think when money becomes the most important thing to anybody, you're probably on the start of the slippery slope. I think you need to see through that a little bit. Everybody likes to earn good money, of course they do. We'd all be the same, but you need to look a little bit more deeply into it than that, and if money is the only criteria that motivates anybody, I'm not sure that's a very good starting point. Their attitude so far to me, as I say, has been first class. I've pretty much spoken to everybody on a one-to-one basis over the two sessions that we've had, finding out where they are, where they live, just the ins and outs of what they are as people, and getting to know them on the training field. And at the moment I can't spend enough time with them. I need to know that and understand that, and where it's going, and how it will move forward, and what we need to move it forward. So personality is a big thing, and I think there's, I've been pleasantly surprised. I know we're not in the position that we need to be in the league, but the attitude, that I can only say, in what I've found so far, has been first class. They've all got on with it and worked hard and done everything I've asked of them so far. And I will continue to push them from now until the end of the season, and I will mentally test them. I will make it hard for them physically, and I'll see those that have got a tight hamstring or don't quite fancy coming out for whatever reason, and just see what steel is actually throughout that side and that squad, and take a measure from there. And they don't have to like me. If they do, that's up to them. I think I'm quite an amicable sort of character. If they don't like me, fair enough, as long as they're doing their job and doing what I ask of them, and again, trying to take the team and the club forward. I'm quite tolerant of people, but they need to be right for us. That's what they need to be, and again, it's not about individuals, it's about us as a team. And they form that bond, and I'll steer it, they need to form it and make sure they're together with one another. When they go shoulder to shoulder, they need to trust in the guy next to them. I'm a big one for creating a big and a strong unity within the camp. Like I say, it's not about any individual, it's about the collective good of the team, and the club is the most important thing for me. And when you've got that, people involved in the workplace, when you come into an environment and a place that you enjoy being in, you give it more. You enjoy being there, you give it that little bit extra, and it's important. The football club is no different. If you enjoy being there and being next to somebody and enjoy getting up and going to work, the chances are you're going to be in a whole lot better place to achieve, and that's how I see it.
Okay, we'll just give the audience a rest for one moment. I've got 4 questions online that we've had. I'll pass it to Rob, and he can ask the questions.
Hi Kevin, as well as the friends in the room, we've got about 300 people watching us live online tonight who want, first of all, to welcome you to Wrexham as well, and to wish you luck, and to thank you for the time that you spent in the first couple of days in the job attending some really important fans events, so we're really grateful for that. First question is, we are a community club, we're a fans-owned club, and you said a little bit about that already. People like to know, what is it that's important about being a community club and a fans-owned club, and what does it mean to you, and what do you want to do with that as your time as manager?
I know there's, I guess there are lots of, fans-owned clubs around and about the country under different guises, and having speaking to the gentleman around me and understanding how it's structured within Wrexham. I know that they formed a trust at Northampton when they went through an administration period when I was there as a player. I think they have one representative on the board, but I just feel that the way you guys have structured this and the way it runs, it has a board that it trusts in, people outside that work incredibly hard, and I just feel that the structure is right for Wrexham Football Club. It's, the fact that it's owned by the fans, there is that real genuine passion for the club there, which is majorly important. And like I say, I want players to understand how important the club belongs to the fans. Players need to understand that, and the whole thing kind of needs knitting together and gelling together. That's what it needs to do, and I want to try and be a part of that. As I say, I know some players live outside of the area, and they come. That's always going to be the case. I can't, guarantee that I can get sort of 18 players that all want to live in Wrexham, unfortunately. But I need to get them to buy in and understand how important you folk are to the club and to those players as much as the players to you. And like I say, bringing that together and bringing a bond there where everybody is moving forward as one is a vital ingredient about us going forward. If you listen to John Still, who's been fantastically successful at Luton, and I'm sure many people will read the paper and reports that he puts in there, and he's a manager I admire greatly, and I've watched him from a distance as a young manager myself, and been on conferences and seen him pick up a lot of silverware, and really admired what he's done and done consistently over a period of time at different clubs. And as good a manager as has been at this level, probably arguably ever. What he's done at Luton and Dagenham, he's got a fantastic track record. But he says, and I'll buy in totally to what he says, is that it's about everybody at the club pulling the same way and doing the right things. And you have the start of it here, and it's just about, like I say, moving it forward. And I want to see myself as part of that.
Thanks for that. The second question that we've been asked is, what sort of style of play can we expect next season, and what do you look for in players? Is pace one of the things you look for?
Yes, it is. I think if you've got energy, pace about your side, you've got half a chance in whatever you play. And if you look at, Nuneaton will come here, and I'll be disappointed if you weren't impressed with their fitness levels. As I said earlier, organisation is paramount. You can do something about that on the training field. Fitness, you can do something about on the training field. I need to make sure that players are technically good enough when they come to us first and foremost. and then I progress them through working with them day in, day out. I like players that can trap the ball and pass the ball, and unfortunately, I think it's a skill that gets neglected throughout the country. I don't think we do it as well as the continentals do it. And you know, there may be a little bit boring drills, but it's vitally important that you can get the ball under and you can play it. It buys you the extra yard and the extra second to be able to, like I say, make the difference in a game. I'm adaptable within the style of plays that we play. I know, you know, I've not been used to playing 4-3-3. It's not been a system that's been particularly one that I've advocated in previous times. I've played a 3-5-2, and I've more recently played a 4-4-2 system, which I find is the most simple. Players with limited understanding of the game, it's kind of a system that they understand a whole lot easier than probably most. You know, a job to do, and keeping the game simple for certain players does help immensely, I've found. But you know, I am flexible. If it's working, you know, I'm not one for wanting to tinker with it. If things are working and you're achieving results, then, you know, I'm not one for making big sweeping changes. As I say, I like technical quality. I need to make sure that people can trap the ball, pass the ball, score goals. I think overall the difference at any levels is your goal scorers. You've got to have people that are going to, you know, stick the ball in the back of the net. A lot of what's behind there, defenders, goalkeeper, having a sound goalkeeper is paramount. Defenders, midfielders can be a little bit samey, I find. But if you've got it's no surprise the two top goal scorers in the league or thereabouts, or the joint two top goal scorers come from Luton Town. You know, we'd have had two guys that were scoring at a good rate of knots before one got injured.